There we go. And we are live. Excellent. Well, good morning, Melanie and Helen. And we've got Moira just joined us. We've got Susan as well, who is back. Thank you so much, Susan. We've got Elise Campbell joining us today as well. It's going to be a lovely way to end the week in your company, Melanie.
Well, do you know what? It's Friday, and it's nice to have some nice company on a Friday morning.
It makes a difference, doesn't it?
I know. I was hoping the sun was going to get out a little bit later, so
no, maybe this weekend we shall see. We've got good morning to Stephen as well. Good morning to Alison, just joining us. So we'll wait a couple more minutes for friends to join us, and then we'll begin.
Has everyone been busy this week? Has everyone been, all right? Because I've just been run off my feet this week. It's been just one of those, those standout weeks where you just think, I'm glad it's Friday.
Yes,
and
I'm ready for a nice big glass of wine, I think.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, I try to avoid it during the week, but I must admit there's been a few nights where it's got to 4 o'clock and I'm thinking, right, get the wine out.
Now, the day gets filled in very quickly. So much content being produced. So you're either into preparing the webinar or doing webinar or wrapping up, afterwards.
Yeah.
Good morning. We've got Matthew Mitchell is all joining us. Good morning, Matthew. So we're 1 more minute and then we shall begin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been hosting podcasts this week.
Have you?
That's been really interesting. Really enjoyed it, actually. I don't see myself as the next sort of, metro radio presenter, but I was actually quite surprised how well I did. I mean, I know I feel like I'm blowing my own trumpet here, but sometimes you just got to put yourself in them positions, don't you?
Absolutely. No, I mean, I think it's a wonderful time to be creative as business owner managers, and I'm addressing our audience today as well. The barriers in terms of getting on with it are being removed little by little. It's become so much easier, so it gives you more space now to come up with the kind of format and the guests that are going to bring value to your audience.
Yeah,
okay, super. Well, listen, let's begin by formally welcoming Melanie Cant from Elm Marketing and Helen Watson from Digital Drive, Cant, Durham, and welcoming you, whether you're joining us live or on replay. Your support, as you know, is really appreciated. This is part 2 of a 4-part mini program dedicated to supporting retailers based in Durham and the nearby area, with a view of reflecting on how you might embrace digital to supplement your activities during and after the COVID-19 crisis. We were together, I think, earlier in the week, and the days are blurring into the same, so I can't recall when it was, but we know that we were together earlier in the week to talk more generally about starting with shopping platforms such as Etsy and the Amazon Marketplace. And today, with the help of Melanie, we're going to be looking at the key principles and the thinking behind building your own e-commerce website. But before we do so, I would like to invite Helen to give us a quick summary of the support available through Digital Drive, Cant, Durham.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Apologies for those of you who already know, but I just want to run through quickly just some of the things that are still available under the Digital Drive support program. So we have the digital health checks, which take about 15 to 20 minutes to fill in. We can give you some great advice as to what you are doing right, maybe it's what you haven't thought about bringing into your business. And that's all fully funded through the program. You can access that through your dashboard. If you need any grant funding, we still have up to 40% contribution available. You can use that towards things like digital equipment, website improvements. It could be any type of digital consultancy you need within the business. So, for example, I've got a lot of businesses that are looking to take their normally would be face-to-face offer virtually. So I know we're just touching there, Melanie, on podcasting and things, but we've got people applying for microphones, tablets, any equipment to help them be more, manage their reputation online, but also pivot their service as well. So do take advantage of that. You will have to get in quick because the pot is almost drying out. So let me know if you want to go through that in any way. And then just another thing to say, Pascal, in terms of the webinars as well. So next week on Tuesday, we've got one on Microsoft Teams, and that's exploring a little bit about more than just using it for video conferencing. So it's how can you use it to be more productive? There's so many tools that are there at your disposal. So that's Tuesday. Wednesday, we have your good self, Pascal, doing our third instalment, which is the getting more customers faster across social media, search engines, and your email marketing. And then next Thursday, to top off the week, we've got a social media news roundup. And I'm excited for that one, Pascal, because I know you always do a fab job of collating all the best tips and news as well from across the platforms. I will put all the details of Digital Drive in the chat box. But obviously, if anyone wants to contact me directly, they can do via email, which is helen@digitaldrivedurham.co.uk, or just ring the team and we'll be happy to help. But that's everything from me. So thank you, Pascal.
You're very welcome. So once again, thank you to you and the team, all the work behind the scenes. We should also really thank the team behind Durham Bid and Business Durham, two organizations who are essentially behind this mini program. But on to our very special guest today, Melanie, who's back. Once again, thank you for your support for this program. And today, we invited you to do two things, really. One is to share, the kind of thinking and the kind of way in which one can approach building their own e-commerce website. And today, therefore, there's two ways which one can use it. If you don't have one that would give you the kind of key principles, and if you already have one, it might just give you a moment of reflection to see what you can improve upon. And what we've with your good help, we have a spotlight on a particular solution, but I want to reassure people that they can use any other e-commerce platforms. It's just that you want to have obviously a clear device to work on. So what do you have in mind for us today then?
Right, okay, well, I have, we're going to overview what Rocketspark is as a platform itself. We're going to look at the e-commerce facility that it provides. I really want to highlight how easy it is to use, because you're quite right, there's a lot of e-commerce platforms out there, but I have experience on other e-commerce platforms, and the reason why I use this particular one is because from a design point of view, it's fantastic, but from our customer's point of view, it's easy for them to maintain. And that's very important for me, because I've actually experienced firsthand where I've been working with people who have said, listen, Melanie, I've got a website, I've had it for a year, I haven't got a clue what to do with it. So therefore it becomes quite stagnant quite quickly. And you know how quickly the digital world moves on, and it's quite nice that this platform that I found grows with your business as well. So we'll be looking at that. We'll be looking at the add-on facilities that enhances this particular platform, and also what you can do to help with the SEO, because it's not Wayne's World. It's not, create it and they will come. It can be hard work. So I just want to highlight all the different things that you can do to complement your SEO, because you can have your SEO set up, but you know what? Chances are, if you're in retail, there's probably another million businesses out there who are doing similar things to you, but they might have the advantage because they're doing all the extra little bits and bobs to complement the SEO. So we're just going to explore quite a few things through the journey. I'm going to start off just giving a little bit of an explanation about who I am and why I'm qualified to actually talk to everyone today, and just to give them a little bit a different option, because like I say, I do realise that there's a million other different platforms out there, but the reason why I've singled this one out is because for most small to medium-sized businesses, they do not have the cash to employ somebody to manage their e-commerce site externally. Sure. It can be quite costly business. So therefore, that's why we're having a look at this platform today. I must say, from experience, I've been doing this for 4 years. I've designed and launched over 40 websites now. So in 4 years, that's not a bad number. That I would say that all of the people that I've designed websites for have absolutely been thrilled with how user-friendly it is, but also as well, out I did actually design 42. 2 of them's dropped off, but those, sadly, those 2 businesses ceased trading, and it was nothing to do with anything that I did. It was just unfortunate that it happened. So without further ado, shall I
Absolutely.
make a start?
And
Right, okay.
to our friends who are joining us live today, do feel free to ask questions in the chat box. I'm going to kind of mute my video and microphone, but I'll stick around, Melanie, and then as and when you feel like it's appropriate, I can come back on and read out some of those questions or reactions for you. So everybody, enjoy and do ask those questions.
Yeah. Okay then. So during the course of the presentation, I will be stopping and saying to Pascal or Helen, you know, is there any questions? Because I won't be checking the chat box. I'm going to be too busy concentrating on what I'm doing. So yes, I'm happy to answer any questions during the presentation, but equally after the presentation, feel free to email me if you've got any queries whatsoever. It's melanie@elmmarketingsolutions.co.uk. I'll have that on all of my slides, so you'll find out where I'm at. Right, okay, without further ado, here we go. So I'll just go into my right. Can everyone see that? I need to go back to the start. I'm just actually showing everyone what's to come. Right, okay, so Rocketspark e-commerce. I have given you a little bit of an intro about Rocketspark there. What I haven't mentioned is a little bit more about my history. Yes, I've been trading for 4 years. Yes, I've designed 40 websites. I would say that my market sort of area is SMEs who need that marketing support. So that's where I position myself. My history is, just to give you a little bit of a background on how I stumbled across Rocketspark. It was about 6 years ago. My background, I've spent about 16 years of my career actually working for accountancy practices and actually providing marketing support there. And about 6 years ago, I attended a Xero roadshow in London. So Xero, if you haven't heard of Xero, is sort of the competitor of Sage software. So I'm sure everyone's heard of Sage software. And Xero came out of New Zealand probably over 10 years ago, and Rocketspark came out in New Zealand as well. Now, Rocketspark websites actually integrate with Xero, and so Rocketspark was there at the Xero Roadshow in London, and I stumbled across these guys, got on talking to them, hit it off straight away, and they demoed their websites, absolutely loved it. And at the time, I was actually struggling with the accountancy practice I was working for at the time, making little updates to the WordPress site. Now, listen, you know, I've got nothing against WordPress sites, but me personally at the time, with my sort of knowledge and experience, I really struggled with it. So I had a word with my boss at the time. We decided to go with Rocketspark because, hey, we were Xero partners, and so therefore we were trying to build up this this Xero community and demonstrate all the different add-ons that Xero had. It's quite a really, it's a big ecosystem now that they have. So I got onto the phone to the guys at Rocketspark, and they helped me set up a website. And all I can say is, oh my God. From an end user's point of view, it was just revolutionary. It's very, very self-explanatory. It sort of guides you through the process of what you need to do. I've got a feeling that 1 or 2 people here today, I heard Moira's name mentioned, it's got a Rocketspark website, and it is very intuitive. So anyway, a few years later, I left the accountancy practice. I was having issues with work-life balance. I had a young child at the time, and I got in touch with the guys at Rocketspark, and I said, listen, I'm setting up Mel's Marketing. I'm setting up on my own. I'm making the leap of faith, but I'm going to use Rocketspark to build my website. And it said to me, well, you know, have you ever thought about becoming a Rocketspark partner? We'll give you the training needed, and it means that you can add that to your services. And I thought, oh, you know, it's another feather to me bow. But I never in a million years thought that it would predominantly take up my business. But that's a good thing, because, you know, I would say that now a lot of my work and day revolves around Rocketspark websites. And I'm passionate about it. I really am, because I know from an end user's point of view, small to medium-sized businesses, it's a real head scratcher when you're trying to sort of, you know, keep your website updated. And you know, and I know firsthand how quickly out of date they can become. They become really, really stagnant. And I would say the majority of the people who come to me, you'll say, I've already got a website, Melanie, I've had it for 2 or 3 years. And my business has changed since then. It costs us a fortune every time I approach my developer to get it updated. And all I want is just something that I'm quite confident in updating myself. Okay, so that's enough about that. But you know, from a e-commerce point of view, it's not much different. So my core services, this is a shameless plug, is I offer social media management for my clients. I offer website design, of course, and I offer general marketing support. So where I position myself is I offer these services to small to medium-sized businesses who cannot afford to employ a marketing person full-time or even part-time. They can use me ad hoc. They can use my services when they need to. Okay, so that's enough about that. So getting started with Rocketspark e-commerce. I will say at the end of this presentation that there is a free ebook I can give out to anyone who hasn't come across Rocketspark at all and who is thinking about using the platform. Now, this ebook is basically a step-by-step guide on how to create a website on Rocketspark, and I believe it's actually being used by universities in New Zealand, so it's got some credibility there. And do you know what, the reason why I'm telling everyone this is because I'm such a believer that Rocketspark is it's, you know, it's that platform that I've seen how it's changed my clients' businesses, and I'm always there for them if they need me. But I really think that it's something that if you're a novice when it comes to websites, check it out, because it will change your life. Okay, so I'm going to be looking at who Rocketspark is best for, how to build an online store. Now this is going to be live, so they're saying TV. You know, never work with children and animals, and in my industry it's like, oh my god, if I'm going live, there's so many things that can go wrong, but fingers crossed they won't. We're going to be talking about how to get found and e-commerce essentials, harnessing add-ons. So there's a few different add-on services that you can integrate with your website that will certainly help when it comes to the e-commerce side of things. We're going to be looking at pricing, so that's how much the e-commerce site costs, and we'll have a sort of roundup question time at the end. However, during the course, if you have any of the presentation, if you have any questions, just put it in the chat box, and again, the guys from Digital Drive will read it out for me and keep you in the loop. Okay, so e-commerce is big. So unless you've been hiding under a rock for the last few months, since the unfortunate pandemic, e-commerce, we've seen a huge rise in the demand for e-commerce websites. Now, to give you an idea on how much effect it's had, this is just a very simple chart of what's been going on in the digital world of websites. So you can see at the left-hand side of the chart, usually around November, December time, we see a peak in the demand in e-commerce websites, and it's usually on the run up to Christmas or the January sales when someone's trying to get their product or services noticed and online. But you can see what's happened up until May this year. You can see actually from around about March to April, there's been a massive spike, and that's because people have been frightened to go out. They've been looking, and business owners have been looking to get that digital presence online. A lot of the inquiries that I've had lately have been from bricks and mortar businesses who've never thought about having an e-commerce presence, and all of a sudden have been put in a position where, you know, for the foreseeable future, they can't trade. So they've been scrambling to go online. I mean, there've been an influx in toilet paper being bought, and I know lots of people have been bulk buying online as well. So, so it just gives you an idea on how big e-commerce is at the moment and how important it is to be have that digital presence online. So I get asked this quite a lot. Who is Rocketspark e-commerce for? Now, Rocketspark e-commerce, I would say, is for anyone really, but the odd time I do have a customer will come to me who wants something really bespoke. So what I mean by that is someone who has like a warehouse and has like 700 products, and they need it integrated with, you know, perhaps Sage and things like that, in which case I would say, listen, do you know what, that's great. Perhaps you need to speak to somebody who can actually build this bespoke site for you. You know, perhaps I think that there's a big e-commerce platform called BigCommerce you could probably fit that bill, or maybe it's a bespoke WordPress designer. But usually I would say that all of my clients come from varied backgrounds. So I've got florists, I've got construction workers, I've got cafes, training services, etc. So it fits a lot of people's purposes. So we'll explore that in a little bit more as we work through the presentation. So in terms of where we fit in the usability, I've mentioned the sort of businesses that I work with, and I have experience in retail, service industries, manufacturing, engineering, food and drink, hospitality and construction. That's not to say that, and I've missed off the florist on there, but again, I guess that's a service. But, you know, it does cover a wide variety of sectors there. And as far as sort of where we fit in terms of like simple to advanced, I would say the simple to basic functionality on e-commerce is something like Weebly or Wix, where you have got the basic sort of the basic functionality there, but on the far advanced side is perhaps someone like BigCommerce or a bespoke WordPress designer, where you need that bit of expertise to help you manage your online store. So where we fit is sort of 3/4 in the middle, because we do the motto for Rocketspark is beautiful, simple websites, and it's been, like I said, it's been created with the end user in mind. So for usability on your side, it sort of guides you through it, but they haven't taken away the functionality that they have there, the add-ons, and so it integrates with Google Analytics and things like that. You've got a little bit more advanced functionality, even though it's simple to use. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a few examples of some websites that I have designed in the last year. This one actually is quite a good example. Now, these guys are based in my hometown in County Durham, and they approached me about a year ago, and they noticed that over the last couple of years, like many town centres, their footfall was starting to decline. The only digital presence that they had at the time was on Interflora, and Interflora was taking something like a 33% cut on every purchase actually made through Interflora. So it wasn't very lucrative for them to actually use Interflora. So with a little bit of persuasion, not from me actually, from one generation to another within the business, because these guys have been going for nearly 100 years. They decided to make a leap of faith and go for a website. So we designed this website, and they went live, I think it was December 2018. And the month that they went live, that month, and they made more than online than what they'd made on the previous month in store. So they're absolutely over the moon. Needless to say, since the pandemic had hit, their website it's just been going mad with orders. And so much so, actually, one day my sister had sent me a message saying, I can't actually buy any flowers on beverages. I think there's something wrong with the website. And there was an error message, and I got in touch with them saying, you know, is everything all right? And they said, oh, we couldn't cope with the demand. We had to switch it off. And I said to them, listen, no, switch it back on. We'll just have a look at your stock control and we'll manage it that way. So that was quite a nice success story there. This one, another one, it's not live yet, this one actually, but the reason why I'm mentioning it for is that these guys have been hit by COVID-19 pretty badly. They're a coffee shop in my local hometown in County Durham. And the reason why I'm showing this for is because it is going live soon, but these guys offered they're a coffee shop, and they relied on pass and trade, and they've got a good reputation in our small village. However, they're now offering a takeaway service, and this will be going live over the next couple of weeks. But this has given them, like, you know, just a lifeline so they can start and trade again while they're preparing for, you know, opening the shop. And obviously they're just waiting for government guidelines on more information about how that's going to pan out, but it's going to keep them going. This one is a training company. And the reason why I'm showing this one, a hard hat training service, is because they offer online training courses. So of course they've got e-commerce facility for that. So they are offering services, and people can book those services through the website and book onto various training courses all over the UK. And right, this last one was a website built in New Zealand, and the reason why I'm showing this one for, it's got a cool little story behind it. So the company this company is really, really new, and what they used to do pre-COVID was actually design stands for events. And when obviously COVID-19 hit, they really just thought they were toast. They thought, all right, that's it, that's going to be the end of our business. But what they realized is that the team that they had, they could utilize the skills to start another business. So they started another business designing stand-up home workstations for your computer. So the guy in the middle there, his name's Greg, and he used to be a design partner for Rocketspark, and he's ended up being a model for this business. But you know, when they actually went live, they had a little bit of publicity about it, because you can imagine the press just jumped all over it, saying, you know, this company thought they were toast, they've diversified, they've produced this new company, and wow, this is what they can do. So their business has actually gone from strength to strength. So it just demonstrates how, you know, one, in the darkness, an idea can appear and you can create a new website, but equally as well, how quickly it's been done with very little sort of effort on their part. Okay, so getting started with e-commerce. What we're going to do now is we're going to go live. I'm going to show you a test website that I've set up, and we're going to have a look at how easy it is to set up an e-commerce store within your website. And also what we're going to do is have a look at maybe adding a couple of products to that website as well. And then after that, we're going to have a look at sort of add-ons, payment gateways, things like that. So it might sound gobbledygook at the moment, but if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And yeah, let's give it a go. So if you can just bear with me. I'm going to stop that slide share, and Right, can everyone see that? Pascal, Helen, can you see that?
Yes, we can now. You know, that does happen sometime with Zoom, particularly when you have, as we can tell, so many tabs open.
Yes. Well, the reason I've got so many tabs open is because I need to dip in and out some different parts. So I will just keep on checking in with you that you can see the screen. If you can't, let me know, because from experience, if I stop sharing, then sharing again, it usually sort of find its way around. Okay, so what I'm showing you now is the dashboard of a Rocketspark website. Like I say, at the very end of the presentation, there is a handout that I can, if you email into the guys, I can give it to the guys, which it's a guide to how to create a website with Rocketspark. So once you've got your website set up, and it could be like a basic brochure site, and you want to add an e-commerce side of things, this is where you need to be in the dashboard of your website. So within the dashboard of your website, on the left-hand side here, you've got a few different things which relates to your website in general. But if you scroll a bit further down here, you've got, you know, blog, store, and zero. So we're going to be having a look at store. Now, when you click on the toggle on store, it says, you know, set up your shop online. Are you sure you want to set up your shop online? Well, yes, I'm sure that I do. But it says, oh, we're not going to be able to set this up because there's a few things that needs to be done within the website first. So if you click on OK, it basically gives you a step-by-step guide on what you need to do to make your online store live. Okay, you'll notice on the right-hand side here, there's an ebook that you can download and read called Getting Started with E-commerce. Again, this has been specifically written for Rocketspark, but there's a lot of the principles within that you can think of, you can use if you're using another e-commerce platform. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through these steps one at a time, just to really show you how easy it is. So we're going to start up with, it'll say at the top, store currency and description. Okay, so shop currency, please select pound sterling. At the moment, there's a few other different, well, there's quite a few different currencies in there, but obviously we're going for pound sterling. I haven't said that there is a one that I'm on working on at the moment that could possibly be in Dubai, so we're working on that one. So we're getting the developers at Rocketspark actually to add in the Arabian Durham. Currency description. Okay, so you can, we're going to put in prices in pounds, and if you notice when I click on there, it preempts what you need to put in because you've already actually said that you need pounds sterling. And the price comparison label. Now this is, I'm going to come back to this because when we add a product to the store, it talks about variables, and if I'm trying to explain it now, it probably won't make sense, but I'll come back to it later and then it will make sense. Okay, for example, PYRRP or anywhere else, YP, I'm just going to take that out because we don't need that. So I'm going to save that. So how easy was that for your currency? That was your first bit. Currency details updated. So that's your currency step is being taken out of the equation because that's been set up. So we need at least one shipping company. Now I would say that most of you probably would be just looking to ship to the UK. But if you wanted to ship worldwide, that's not a problem as well. And there's loads of different loads of different countries you can ship to on here. But what I would say is for the Rocketspark platform, if you click on United Kingdom, if you're actually shipping any further afield, we can add it within the nuts and bolts of the shipping section, which I'll come to a little bit later. But always just add your shipping country is the country that you are trading from. So obviously in this case, it is the United Kingdom. Right, okay then. So what it's asking here is that what is your shipping price is going to be. So I would say to you, have a think about what your shipping costs is going to be, because it might be just more than the cost of a postage stamp or a track and trace with Royal Mail. You might want to include other things like the cost of the packaging as well. A lot of my clients will set just a standard postage rate, so they're not having to queue at a post office and weigh something. I think it's quite standard to say that a lot of companies, will say it's like $4.99 postage and things like that. So for demonstration purposes, standard shipping, I'm going to add in, say, I'm going to put in £5. But really, that's your discretion on how much you want to add there. Now, extra item costs. Some people might say that if someone is buying multiple items from you, they might want to charge extra. So what I mean by that is that if someone's ordering perhaps a computer, but they also want to add in a TV as well, then you might want to add that, right, okay, there's 2 items, the 2 bulky items, I'm going to add an extra £10 there or whatever. So that's what the extra item cost price is. I'm going to come back to adding another shipping rate in a pickup location as I progress through the process. So that's that bit set up. And I think you'll probably agree it's quite simple so far. So I'm going to go back to getting started. Right, okay. Edit and approve your store's terms and conditions. Now, most small businesses, in fact, all the small businesses that I've come across, the thought of getting a lawyer involved in writing up their terms and conditions is sort of made them a little bit scared. So actually what Rocketspark e-commerce have done is they actually approached lawyers in the UK and said, can you help us create a standard set of terms and conditions that so that if our customers read them and accept them as their own, they can trade with them. And that's exactly what they did. So if you click on terms and conditions, so to the merchant, this is a note to you. So this is a note to the people who, to the person who is creating the website. So this gives them instructions on how to edit your terms and conditions to actually suit your business. So if you scroll down, I think there's probably about 10 or 12 pages of anything with brackets round, with terms, products, and our site is all they're all areas where you can add in your sort of business name, your address, your particulars about your business. And what I would say is that if you are not happy with these terms and conditions, or if you are trading, I don't know, if you're selling something like chemicals or something a little bit out of the ordinary that's not as generic, I would certainly say, listen, go and get yourself a lawyer and ask them to get you typed up some terms and conditions that's going to be specific to your business. But I would say that 9 times out of 10, the businesses that I've worked with have been SMEs who are quite happy to trade with the generic terms and conditions and add in their particulars. Once you're actually happy and you've added in your name and etc. throughout the terms and conditions, anything above this line here can be then deleted. because anything above that line was instructions for you as the merchant. So if you delete them out the way and click yes, I accept responsibility of the above terms and conditions. So you're accepting them as your own. Then you can save it and you have a legal set of terms and conditions there. I must admit, the directors of Rocketspark had said when they approached lawyers and said, right, this is what we're thinking about doing, they were a bit, this website's company's trying to give legal advice. But when they actually read it and said, all right, okay, then that's fine, because it's like a sort of a copy and paste sort of one, and as long as the merchant accepts these as their own, then that's fine. But again, if you are intending on selling something a little bit out of the ordinary, that might, could, something like chemicals, things like that could be a little bit more dangerous, then I would certainly seek sort of some more bespoke terms and conditions for your particular product or service. So you can change that there. Is there any questions so far?
Nothing's been written in the chat box just yet, Melanie, but
right. That's fine.
That feel free to jump in.
Yeah, that must mean that I'm making sense so far, so that's quite good. Okay. So you can see how quickly I'm rattling through these sort of points that you need to address before you can actually set up your e-commerce store. So last but not least, it asks about your payment gateway. Now, your payment gateway is the gateway that you use so that when someone's actually paying you through your website, it's the go-between. So it takes the payment from your customer, processes it, and then puts it in your bank. So there is quite a few different payment gateways on there, out there. Rocketspark actually recommends quite a few, but I would actually say one of the most popular ones, and I think it's always been the one that my clients have gone for because of its worldwide adaptability, is Stripe. And you can see from this dashboard, it gives you some options of ways you can or different payment gateways that you can use. And the reason why we tend to go for Stripe quite a lot is because of its flexibility on the amount of cards that it accepts. And it's easy, functionality, and they are very, very competitive on their fees. Now, I must point out that Rocketspark don't charge any additional fees for any purchases made through the website. So you can have, 700 products on your website, and you could be selling, 50 products a day, and you will not get charged from Rocketspark. But no matter what payment gateway you go for, there will be like a little process fee. I think with Stripe it's something like 1.7% on each product that's purchased. But all I would say is, perhaps could you then review your pricing and add that 1.7% onto the cost of the product, so you're not actually losing out. What's going on there? So actually, I'm just going to stop sharing a second, because I'm going to log into my Stripe account, and I just want to show you how easy it is to link or integrate an account with Rocketspark. So if you can just bear with us, I'm going to unshare and then I'm going to share again, obviously, because I don't want to be sharing my bank details. Here we go. So that was quick. All set up. And there's some, I think, is there some chat? Is there anything in the chat there, Pascal?
Nope, nothing. I
No.
think people are being very attentive.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. Where was I? Here we go. Right. Just want to make sure, can everyone see this page again? Yeah.
Yeah, we can see that.
Right. Fab. Okay. So basically, Stripe, like I mentioned, is a payment gateway. But before we can integrate it with your website, what you need to do is actually create an account with Stripe. And I'm just using Stripe as an example because I personally have a Stripe account, and I personally use my website to sell a service. A lot of people, when I've said to them, you know, we will set up an e-commerce store and you'll need to integrate with a payment gateway, they've suddenly gone, sounds too technical. I really don't want to do, you know, how do you do that? But it is so easy on Rocketspark. So what we're in the payment gateway section within the store, as you can see on the left-hand side. And the Stripe box is here. So I don't want to set up a new account, but if you haven't got an account with Stripe, you can set it up via the Rocketspark dashboard. If not, you can use an existing account. So if I click on here, use an existing account. Oh. It says, hold on, that's my fault. I've been trigger happy there. I'll go back a step. Remember what I said about going live. Right, it looks, do you know what, it's as simple as that. It looks like it's already just connected. So I clicked on, hold on, I'm going to click on disconnect from Stripe, disconnect. There we go, right, okay. So I've got my Stripe account open in the background. And what I've done is I've just clicked on use an existing account, clicked on that. Enable Stripe. Stripe has been enabled. So you now have an online store that can start and take payments. It really is. There's no hidden catch. It's as simple as that. And you can see straight away you've got your credit card gateway. Also with PayPal, if you've got a PayPal account, you know, if as long as you have that open in the background and you've signed into it, if you click on use existing account, it's pretty much just a two-step process where it'll say, right, okay, authorize this connection, and it will connect. And your bank deposit in credit cards, direct credit as well. It's as simple as that as well. So yeah, that's really all I can see on that section. Right, okay, so now you've satisfied all the criteria of getting started with e-commerce. Now we can upgrade and go live. And we're going to go live as soon as possible. Right, okay, so what it's saying now is, you know, do you want to actually make their website live? And I don't want to make this website live because it's just a test website. But if you wanted to make your website live and it was a brand new website, all you would need to do was just follow the instructions, and it'll say, have you got an existing domain name? Yes, you put your domain name in there. If you haven't, you want a new domain, again, it'll just follow you, it'll lead you through the process of what you need to do. And you put your debit card details in the back, which I'll come to a little bit later about prices. And I would say that they're not extortionate prices, but there is a very small cost involved on having an e-commerce store, whether it's with Rocketspark or, you know, Wix or anyone really. But now we have those sections set up. we can now actually start and add products to the website. So what I'm going to do is go into the store. Now, again, this is just something I've set up as a bit of a test. It's the Beautiful Boxed Gift Company. And within that company, within that store, you can buy a few different things. Obviously, you don't get chairs boxed, but it's just for example and demonstration purposes. Okay, so I've already added a few products in there. So what I'm going to do is just show you how easy it is to add your products. Can I just ask Pascal, well, actually you guys who are listening, just let me know what sort of industry sector that you're in. So, you know, I could maybe give examples if you're in a service sector, or if you're a florist, or, you know, if they can put it in the chat, then there's maybe something I can talk to them about, you know, how to upload the products and getting the most from that within the store. I think that would be helpful. So anyway, while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to just add in a product. Now, I'm just going to add, for demonstration purposes,
Sorry to interrupt, Melanie. I'm getting some feedback that I think our view is frozen.
So right, your view is frozen. Right, okay.
Yeah, we're still in the, yeah.
I've unshared and I'm going to share again. Thanks for letting me know, because that just happened from time to time. Is that better? So you're in a store, yeah?
We are, yes, thank you.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to put it in preview mode. So this is what the customer would see. So you've got some products there to buy. And I think you'll agree, actually, the websites, the Rocketspark websites, are very like clean and modern looking, and, you know, very pleasing to the eye. It's like a nice experience when you land on these websites. I'm just going to go into editor view, because I'm going to show you how easy it is to add a product. So there's a little bit of it. It's freezing up a little bit. Here we go. Right, so I'm in editor mode. Right, so I'm actually going to go into the store itself. Sorry, it's running slow a little bit at my end, and it's got something to do with probably the amount of tabs that I've got open at the top. And actually, I'm in the wrong area. Bear with us. I'm going to go back into products within the store. That's better. Right, can you see that page? And at the top of the page, we've got editing your product, add product, view orders, and store settings. Can you see that, Pascal?
Yes, we can. And in answer to your earlier question, we've got Matthew Mitchell joined us today, who's setting up his coffee roasting company in Durham. Mm-hmm. And we'll be selling coffee equipment and a subscription service as well.
Mm-hmm. Right, okay, so, brilliant.
If others can follow Matthew's example and just put the details in the chat box, that'll be lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. And it's really good, because it means that I can, after I've done the shop demonstration, I can have a bit chat, or I can have a look to see what people are actually, what businesses they have, and give perhaps an example of how you could use this sort of website. I'm assuming then that Matthew perhaps might want, is it a coffee equipment?
From what is written, yes, it'll be the whole range from people buying, the coffee from him, as well as the beans and everything else that goes with it.
Ah, right. Okay, then, yeah. So we can, actually the functionality within a Rocketspark website offers either a delivery, so the product can be posted out. Obviously not if it was like someone buying a cup of coffee, but there's also like a click and collect section, so which is ideal for takeaways. So what you could do is set up your store so that people can say buy, buy, I don't know, coffees and bagels and cakes or whatever, and say that they're going to collect it at 10 o'clock on a Tuesday morning, and you'll have it ready for them. So that's quite a neat little feature, and I'll have a look at that. And if I haven't got time to go through these individual sort of examples, then I am more than happy to offer a little bit of one-to-one training with anyone who's interested after this presentation. No additional cost and no sales pressure from me either. Right, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to example how easy it is to add a product, and I think that this is what on other platforms catches a lot of people out. They're really not sure what they need to be doing. And all I would say is that those essential bits that we looked at the start, so the setting up the payment gateway, the postage, etc., having those in place just makes this bit like a lot easier. So I'm going to add a product by clicking add a product. Okay, can you see that, Pascal? Now it's saying new product.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, good. Okay, just wanted to make sure. So for an example, I just picked something that was quite basic and simple. I'm going to put boxed candle. Okay, so it's because obviously I'm not feeling very creative this morning, but boxed candle in the description. In small and medium. So how simple was that? We'll look at product codes in a second. Not everyone uses the product code facility. A lot the businesses who do use the product codes usually have an integration with Xero, or they have like a big inventory, so they've got a lot of products that they need to keep an eye on. If you say have between say 10 products, you probably won't even look at product codes because you know what you've got in stock, and you don't need to, and they're quite unique, so you don't need to refer to any variables. But if you say a shoe shop and you have a pair of shoes and you have it in 3 different colors and they're all in different sizes, you will need to use the product codes. And I would say that's a little bit more of an advanced session. So if anyone is in that position and is interested in using this platform, then let me know, and I'm quite happy to go through that with you as well. So your images, you just click on a upload image, and I'm just going to type in candle. Now this is a bit of a Blue Peter moment, so I hope this works. Something that I did earlier. Hey, goodness for that. So it's thinking about it. Yay. So you've got your candle image there. Now we're going to scroll down a little bit. So category, add a category. Now your category will show in your search box at the top of your page when I'll demonstrate this after. So I'm just going to put in candle. Product brand. Now this particular one hasn't got a brand name, but if someone was looking for, say, a candle which is a Yankee candle, then you would type in Yankee candle then, because then people can again search by product brand. Shipping option. Now we've set up a shipping option, and the shipping option we set up was a standard shipping option. So we're going to allocate this product to a standard shipping option. So if you remember back, that standard shipping option was £5 to anywhere in the UK. It didn't matter where it was in the UK. It's a standard £5 for shipping. And your product status. Now this is quite cool. So if you are setting up a few things and your store's live, you can actually leave it as hidden in the background until you're ready to make it go live. And you know, equally, if you were using a manual system, which I'll explain in a second, you could, or if you know that it's not going to be in stock for a while, you can mark it as out of stock. So it'll still appear within the shop, but you'll have a little notice on it to say out of stock. Your product tags is more advanced, so I'm not going to look at that at the moment, because that's if you're selling, actually, if anyone is selling more than, say, 100 products, or is thinking about selling more than 100 products, if you can just put it down in the question in the chat box, so I'll maybe have a bit of chat with you later. Now, if you were just selling that one candle, and you know that one candle is, say for instance, it's a large one, let's give it a price of £9.99, and you know that you've got 10 in stock, what you can do, you've got this option, if the stock reaches 0, you can hide the product or mark it as sold out. So if I click on hide product, what it means is that if that product, if you've sold the 10 items, the website will automatically mark it as know that it's sold out, and it'll just hide it from the store, so you can't find it in the store. Or if you want to just mark it as sold out, it'll keep it in the store, but it won't let anyone buy it. It'll just mark it as sold out. Okay. Now, if you click on it, says variants. Now, I actually mentioned in the description of the candle that we have a small and a medium candle option. So there's variables to the price now. So we've got option type and options, which sounds confusing, but it's not. So the option type is, it's a candle that we're selling. And the options is, we're going to have a small candle, or we are going to have a large. We're going to add them and set up the variables. Okay, so the small candle we're going to say is £5.99, and the large candle we're going to say is £9.99. We're going to say that there's 10 of them in stock. Now, the GTIN number, as I call it, is if you have got a Google Merchant account. If you've got a Google Merchant account, there's like a Q code that you can pop in here, and it just connects them the two together. So if somebody, if you've got the product on your Google Merchant account, and someone clicks on it and come through to your website, so that's quite a cool little feature as well. Now, related products, so if you've got a few products on your website, I'll see if it'll bring up one of those product chair. Now, oh, yeah, product chair. So if I, obviously, within the test screen, I've already set up a chair in there. And what it'll show, once I make this candle live, it'll say frequently bought with underneath, and it'll have the product chair. Obviously, someone's buying a candle, they wouldn't necessarily buy a chair, but for demonstration purpose, it's just to show you that, say, if you had candles, cards, flowers, or chocolates, you could say, right, this candle's frequently bought with a birthday card and some chocolates as well. So it sort of prompts people to look at these additional products as a possible purchase. If you're in the food industry, a lot you might want to use this. So it's like tax exempt. So when I set up websites, I usually like to include the tax in it. So so you get the figure rather than the, say, 989 plus tax. So if you click on here, just remember to make sure that the figure that you've got for the product is correct with the tax included. Okay. Search keywords are optional. So if you wanted, if someone searches in your website for, say, a candle, you could put in here scented candle or gift. It is optional, but some people like to have loads of different search options, and we'll have a look at that in a second. Google Merchant Feed, I touched on that a little bit further up. Some people have Google Merchant Feeds, in which case, if you complete this section below, it helps if anyone's using Google Shopping. It'll probably mean gobbledygook to most of you now. But so I'm not going to cover it too much. But if you do have a Google merchant feed, it is really good for helping with your SEO. And you can read more about this in the Rocketspark e-commerce book, which you saw within the store when we first set up your payment gateway, etc. Okay, so we've satisfied all the criteria there for making this product go live. So let's see what it looks like. So if I save the changes there. I think we're doing all right for time, aren't we, Pascal?
We are, yes. And then
Yeah.
I've got, when the time is right for you, I've got some updates from our friends today. I've got some descriptions of the different businesses.
Right, okay,
And I
brilliant.
have a question from Alison as well.
Right, excellent. Okay, so you can now actually see that this candle has appeared in the store. So if I click on the candle, so it's a lovely modern sort of clean presented screen. It's got box candle, $5.99 for a small one. If you click on small and change that to large, it changes it to $9.99, and you can add that to the cart. Okay, so at this point you can either check out. So the checkout system looks something like this. I'm just going to put in an email address here to show you that once your customer puts in an email address, on the right hand side, all of a sudden it adds in your shipping. So it does that automatically, and so it'll show here that, oh yeah, $14.99, and you just add in your address and you follow a process of putting in your card details, etc. Something I want to touch on here, which if you see in this area here, can you see coupon code, Pascal? Hello.
Sorry, I just had my microphone muted. Yes, I'm talking to myself. Yes, we can see the coupon box. Yeah.
Right. Okay, then. So this can come in really handy. So say that your business is having a bit of a sale on at the moment, or perhaps you've just got a special offer. So it's maybe, you know, buy one get one free or whatever. In which case you could add in say 2 candles there. But from the merchant's point of view, what I can do is I can go into the store and set up coupons and promotions. Okay, so I'm going to actually just put a creative promotion, and I'm going to say 10% off. Promotion to 10% off. It applies to all products. You can set it like a timer on it, so you can set a start date and an end date. So I'm going to start it from today and end it from tomorrow. And obviously it's not 35%. I'm going to put in 10% and save promotion. Now, okay then. So that's, you know, just a very quick and simple way you can add a promo to your website, but also you can use coupons. So I'm also going to add a coupon. So for the coupon, we're going to coupon title. Just let me know at any time, guys, if you can't see this, because it would mean that the screen's frozen and I can unshare and then share it again. So the title, they say this is for demonstration purposes. We've got this is a Facebook promotion. We only want our customers to use it once, and it gives them a discount, like instead of a percentage discount, just a monetary sort of block discount. But I'm not going to allow this to be used with, sorry, no, for this example, I'm going to allow it to be used in addition to the 10% off that we've got at the moment. And I'm going to say that you've got an extra £1 off, because if I give 10% off this candle and another £3, you're going to be getting it for nothing. So I'm just going to say, oh, so the minimum purchase amount is £5. So the start date is today, the end date is tomorrow, the discount amount is £1, and the coupon code is Facebook1. Right, so if I now go back to that product, now I hope this works. And if I type in there, Facebook1, hey, right, let's put a discount on there as well. I'm assuming actually it's taken the 10% off, as I'm just going to, maybe click the wrong button, but you can see the gist behind it. So you can actually do promotions on social media to say, you know, for the next, we can do a flash sale for 24 hours, we're offering this, just if you wanted to, but it comes in handy for clients seasonally. So I know people who use it on the run up to Christmas, say Black Friday weekend, things like that. It really gives them a really good boost prior to, you know, there was typically busy retail seasons. I'll just stop and answer the question that Alison's got, Pascal.
Yes, so Alison was actually wondering, which I think is a lovely question, what can you do if you want to provide shipping free of charge?
Ah, good question. Well, there's some of my clients who actually do provide shipping free of charge, but the shipping is obviously the price is reflected in the price of the product. But we are going to go back down to the store. And go into shipping. So what we're going to do is we're going to add another shipping rate, and we're going to edit this to free shipping. But on the free shipping, you might want to set a minimum order value, Alison. So in which case you can set a value. So you can say, now you don't have to do this. You can just have free shipping. But you might say, right, okay, spend £50 with us. And you would be applicable for free shipping. Now, what you would have to then do is go back to the product. And I'm actually, when you hover over a little pencil, it comes up, edit product. Ooh. So I'm going to edit the product. And the shipping rate there, oh, it should say free shipping there, but standard 2 is free shipping. And we're going to save that. I'm just going to check that I saved that free shipping section, and then we will increase the volume of candles, and then you can see that it will come up free shipping. So you can just bear with me one moment. Store, payment gateway. Oh, sorry, not payment gateway. I want shipping. Oh, yeah. Standard 2. Save that there. we're going to go back to the product. And if anyone gets lost off, please, you know, put your hand up, shout, and I can certainly go over something, go back over it. So if I go back into the product, yeah, so it says free shipping there now. So what that means, it's applicable for the free shipping. So I save that. Right, okay, so there's two things that you need to consider. So either we can offer this as free shipping as standard, which is what I've set it at the moment, or we can set it as standard shipping. So it would be, if you spent £10, yes, you have to pay for your £5 shipping. But if you spend £50, that will automatically take the shipping off and make it free shipping. So I'm just going to quickly show you. So if I go into the cart here, and I refresh that, hold on, I'm going to remove that and just apply it again, because obviously I'm trying to do while I'm already in the checkout area. So I'm going to buy the candle. It's applied the 10% off already, so it's £5.39 for a small candle instead of £5.99. Okay, we're going to add that small candle to the cart. We're going to check out. And it shows up free shipping there. So if I go back and take off the free shipping, so I'll quickly go back to show you. Sorry if this sounds long-winded. It's just easier to show you than try and explain. So if I'm going to go back, to the product, and I'm now going to set it back to standard. I suspect Alison, actually, if it's Alison who I know, has probably got a reason why she's asking this question. So I'm going to apply, I want more than 6. 17 candles. Right, so because the candles cost more than £50, then the free shipping is applied there too. Okay, does that make sense? Any more questions around that?
Feel free to put the questions, but I wanted to give you a quick update. People have been writing about their business. You've got Moira Barnes. I don't know if your paths have crossed.
Yes, I know Moira.
Yeah, she does those great workshops on sales setting with heart and so on. It's brilliant.
She
So
does.
she's got the consultancy business, and like people like me, I suppose, we're looking to package and productize our services. So she wants to also sell some resources. Then you've got Susan. I'm going to guess she's from the South Durham Honey Company. They are beekeepers and selling honey as well as beeswax items. So the candles was an impeccable example to provide for Susan. And then Elise has, she works for a small company and they are involved in the engraving industry, and they sell mainly plastics that are used for cutting and engraving purposes, but they also provide services alongside the products.
Right. Okay then. Well, in that case, I would say for the first of all, those businesses are pretty straightforward. Moira, the candles, the etc. It's just quite straightforward. I'd say the engraving. The only other thing I would say is that at the bottom of when people are checking out, where it's got additional delivery notes here, we can change that to say, write down the name of the person that you want, you know what I mean, the what you want engraved, the wording, and to change that, I'll show you in a second, because you have got some say on how this is set out, but this for me is the most simplest way. But I would say, actually, if that's something that, did you say it was Liz?
Elise.
Elise,
it,
yeah. If it's something that Elise wants to talk to me about, feel free. I'm certainly not. I'm not going to be giving you a big sale. I'll just talk to you whether Rocketspark's the right fit. But I suspect that it will be. It's just how you actually present your store and give people instructions on what they need to do. So they could buy a glass and say that in the shop. You just need to write, I'm just making this up off the top of my head here, but in the shop you'd say, right, when you check out, please write what you want engraved on the glass, and you can give instructions or examples of the different engravings that you do on the images in the image area of your product. So I hope that makes sense, but certainly give me a shout about that, and I'm more than happy to run through your options, so then you can make an informed decision on whether it will work well for you. Does that make sense?
And I'm just wondering if you're happy to share with us today, Moira, what kind of resources do you have in mind? Because that could be actually very interesting to essentially challenge you today, Melanie, to thinking about, this is the kind of resources I have in mind. How would Rocketspark, support that? I think it's fascinating to get that perspective.
Yeah, well, if you have a look at my website, for instance, my website, I actually sell training courses, and this is something that I've diversified a little in terms of training. Was always something that I was wanting to do, but never got round to doing. Now, funny enough, since COVID, since the pandemic hit, I'd sort of just been catapulted in a position where I'm doing the training courses like today, and it's sort of just been a natural sort of progression for me, and I've sort of almost just diversified without really thinking much about it. But in addition, you can have, obviously, you can buy a course or a bundle of services, and perhaps just make a note to the consumer to say, right, okay, you can buy it, but then you need to get in touch, and we'll get something booked in the diary at a date that is convenient to you. Is that what you were talking about, or am I off track a bit?
No, I think actually it's a very, very good example. We've got a response from Moira, so she's looking at maybe a sales strategy document or customer persona worksheets. Everyone needs a good customer persona worksheet. So yeah, that kind of, I suspect would be PDFs or that kind of things. And then from Elise with the engraving business, she explains that currently on the website, people have the option to upload documents that will contain what the customer wants engraved, but that's not always practical, suitable for every customer. And they find out often the customer ring for options and so the kind of that communication back and forth.
Yeah. Do you know what? That's always the case. I know people, I know from experience, people ring me and say, right, you've got this training course on your website, but I can only do these days, and I can only, and do you actually work out of hours, and do you do this? And do you know, I would say you're always going to get somebody who wants to talk to a human being first before they actually book. As far as, uploading documents is concerned, there is I'll quickly show you a form facility. You can build forms on Rocketspark as well. So you could maybe, in fact, I'll use my website as a bit of an example, if you don't mind. I'll just quickly jump onto my website in the background here. Can you actually see this?
Yeah, we can see your Gmail account.
Yeah.
And then you're changing that to your website.
Yeah. So, so this is my website. If you go onto my contact page, I've actually designed a form which gives my customers a bit of a like a few options to think about before the form is sent to me. So what I mean by that is I've got on here, request a call back, so they can click on whether, you know, they want me to call them back. But also as well, I've got website packages. So I've listed, you know, what my website packages are. Now, those website packages are within my website. So if they've had a look at, you know, say I'm being on my website page and decided, right, I'm interested in the silver package, they can click on that. So I know that when I receive the form, that this person wants a callback, but they're particularly interested in the silver package that I've got advertised. But also training, you know, I'd like to find more about website training, about social media, about, you know, one-to-one Zoom meetings. So you can create a form around the questions, that you're preempting questions from your customers. But also as well, I've got little like ticky box options where, you know, I'd love a video to showcase my business, and I'd like to discuss social media packages. So it gives me, when I receive this form, all of a sudden I've got all this rich information, so I can prepare myself before I go back to this client and say, right, okay, then you've been interested in this, let's discuss that. Or I can either, if they didn't request a call back, I can email the information back. So does that help with that question, or have I just confused you even more?
No, I think that's a lovely facet that, you know, I've not considered anyway, even as I'm listening to you. If you don't mind, just because I'm making the link between what you're describing and my situation, maybe more as a situation, is it possible to, it's going to be very crude, but, you know, currently I've got a WordPress website. Is it possible to bolt on then the Rocketspark modules so that it's all in the one environment?
No, unfortunately, it won't bolt onto WordPress. I think that's just the short answer
No,
there.
that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
So you've got 5 minutes left for
Right.
this demonstration. What else? What other wonders are there on the Rocketspark platform?
Oh, hey, I've only scratched the surface here. No, let's go back to the website example. So yeah, so you can, this is the checkout area. Obviously, I will just put in my details to a certain extent. I'm just going to put in some fake details, blah, 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 and review order. So it gives you just a preview of the order. You click on, yes, this is my billing address. Yes, I agree to the terms and conditions, and you proceed to payment. And at the moment, I've only got this linked up to Stripe, but if you had like PayPal, things like that, it would show just in this box. So I've only got linked up to one payment gateway. And this is really just to demonstrate how modern and easy it is to use for your customer journey. So it basically tells you the name of the company that you're buying from, what you've bought, and then on the right hand side it gives you the option to put in your card details, etc. So as soon as you press pay, you will get an automatic response from the website to say that you've purchased your product. Now, what I'm going to do is just quickly go to, I think I've just closed it down by accident there, 2 ticks. Certainly go back in. Oh, that's my website. I'm just going to unshare this because I'm just going to go at the back end of my design studio, and I have a lot of client details in there, and obviously it's not very nice if I'm showing my clients' details. Here we go. Right. I'm back. Right, I'm just going to share. Yeah, right. Here we go. So very quickly, I'm back in the back end of the website again. What I'm going to show you is some store preferences. Now, this could be your personal preferences on how you want your store to be set out. Also, before I go into there, I just want to say that if you do, say for instance, I think Elise and Matthew, if you do use Xero, you can integrate your website with Xero. So what will happen is any purchases that are made on the website, they'll drop through to Xero. They'll appear as items bought in Xero and create an invoice, and it'll also create a notification to say that's paid, and it'll also say how it's paid. So when you're doing your bank reconciliation, all you need to do is just check your bank account, right? Okay, that was for £86, right? Okay, it was for this item, and you just cross it off. So it creates efficiencies there. If anyone has any questions around Xero, please email me, and I'll run through that with you. Store preferences. I just want to go to your order emails. You can set where your email orders you want them to go to. I've just made up this email address. So if your email address was, at the beautiful boxed gift company, and your name was, I don't know, Maria, you can have it. It just means that all your orders will drop into your whatever email box that you wanted to direct it to, and you can manage it that way. You can add on whether the gift is the order is a gift for somebody else. So it means that you can have a little gift section, so that someone can put on, oh, happy birthday from Moira and the gang, and it just means that when the gift is sent out in the post, you can put a nice little note in there to say, happy birthday from Moira and the gang. So that's quite a nice little feature there. What I do want to show you is, right, okay, at the very bottom here, we've got an order confirmation email, so that when somebody places the order, you could actually write what that email is going to say. So I'm just going to say, thank you for your order. If you have any questions, please contact us on, and then you can put a telephone number, and then that's quite a nice, you can put loads of different things in there, but it's quite a nice personal message from you. You can add whatever you want in there. It's telling us that that's been saved. That's great. And also, I'm not sure if I'm going to have time for to demonstrate the checkout for pickups. So this is like a click and collect. If you have a takeaway service, or even, just trying to think of another, I guess Argos do like a click and collect, isn't it? So you can buy it and go and collect it at a certain time on a day. You can do the same, but you can add your delivery message or your pickup message here. And that's all I was going to show you on that section there. So I've covered a range of things. All I would say is I just want to reiterate a couple of things. I do have a book, an e-commerce free downloadable ebook, if you don't want to actually log on to a website and download that yourself. If you wanted to try Rocketspark, you can actually do so, but if you have like 30 days free to try it. So you can just set up like basics. You don't have to put any credit cards in or anything like that. And again, if you if you Google rocketspark.co.uk, there's a little button there saying set up a 30-day free trial. If you don't want to do that, get in touch with me and I can set it up with you. And I don't charge for doing that. It's just a part of the service. I'm just going to go back to my slides so I can get back on track. Before I do, is there any more questions there? Because I'm conscious that we're getting a bit pushed for time now.
No question, but I did put a message on for people to time their questions, so that we'll be starting the Q&A in about 5 minutes, and then during which time you can add, obviously more information about Rocketspark.
Yeah. No, that's fine. God, it's amazing how long I can talk for. I didn't think I was going to cover 2 hours, but hey, it's great. Okay, so a couple of things about SEO. There is a SEO section built within the back of the website, and I will quickly show you that. But there's a lot more. That meets the eye with regard to SEO. I keep going back to this Wayne's World quote, build it and they will come. Actually, SEO is hard work, no matter what industry you're in, or whether you're a designer or a developer. It takes a lot of time and effort. So if you have a website, you do really need to think about what the keywords that your customers will search for on Google. If you are not sure about what those keywords are, what I would suggest is if you go onto Google and just type in, say, the word candle, have a look to see. It'll show you how many times that keyword is being searched for, and it'll give you an indication on how popular that keyword is, as opposed to if you type in Yankee Candle, and there might be a difference in the amount of times it's being searched. So really, give it a little bit of thought. Also, Rocketspark, you can provide a free blog as well. And if you noticed within the store section, just above that, there was a little toggle to switch your blog on. Now, your blog's integrated within your website, and blogs are really good at directing customers to your website. So what you can do on Rocketspark is you can write a blog. There's a button actually within your website that you can click on it and you can share it, that blog, direct with, say, your Facebook page, your LinkedIn page, Twitter. I think it integrates with LinkedIn and Pinterest. So you've got a good variety of social media reach there. That, if someone's reading your blog on LinkedIn and clicks on it, they'll find themselves on your website, and then they're more likely to have a look around, which leads us on to social media. There's quite a lot of people who really don't like or a bit wary of social media, or they think they have to be on every social media channel going. My advice would be is that if you are say on Facebook and Instagram and you know that your customers are on there, don't waste your time with the other social media channels like LinkedIn and Twitter, because just work on the channels that you are actually confident in using, and that your customers actually are on there. And the more you can use social media, if you think about social media, is a huge search engine in itself. So if you are on Facebook and you are on say Instagram, if someone searches for one of your products or your business name, chances are actually that your social media tag will probably turn up first before your website. This is just because your social media, the big social media companies like Facebook, etc., have got that clout when it comes to SEO. MailChimp, actually, MailChimp has got a facility called MailChimp e-commerce. Now, you do have to pay for that, but you can integrate it into your into a Rocketspark website. And the advantages of MailChimp and Rocketspark is that if someone actually is going to buy, say, 6 candles, and they abandon that shopping trolley, MailChimp picks up on that, and you can send automated emails to say, oh, we noticed that we won't say we noticed that you abandoned your trolley, but you could say, send them an email, there's a special offer on buy 5 candles, get 2 free. And so it's quite intuitive, and it can do that. Again, there's more information about that if you Google rocketspark.co.uk. It'll tell you about the integrations and the advantages of using them, and also Google Analytics. Now, if you are registered with Google Analytics, you'll get like a little unique code, which is just unique to you, and you can integrate that with the back of your website, and actually that will show up here in the back of your website. Can you see that, Pascal? So you've got like a little sort of charted pattern there.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, so it is slightly delayed to the real time in Google Analytics, but when you log on to the back of your website, you can see how well your website's performing, and perhaps little peaks within your website. You can see, oh, that's the day I ran the promotion on Facebook, or that's the day I had the competition on Instagram, or that's the day I had. So you can maybe then get a pattern on what's working and what's not. I just want to go back to lay-by here. Now, lay-by is a functionality that integrates within the website as well, and it's great for e-commerce. Now, what lay-by does, it's like a buy now, pay later facility. So your customer might want to buy, oh, I don't know, say Moira for your services. They might want to spend £500 with you, but they mightn't be able to pay for it all together. So if you've got lay-by integrated with your website, what happens is they can buy it, and lay-by will pay you, but they'll take the money from your customer in 6 weekly installments. Now, Rocketspark did research on this, and they integrated lay-by with one of their clients' websites, and they monitored it for 6 months before and 6 months after. And it was quite interesting, because what it actually showed is that 6 months after, their sales had gone up by 66%. So, you know, I always like to use the example is, if I loved handbags, which I'm not saying I do, but if I loved handbags and I really saw a nice expensive handbag and it was £200 or £300, if I was to actually buy it and have the lay-by option, then if my husband looked at the statements on the card, actually, you'd probably not notice if it's just like £30 here, £30 there, but you would notice if £300 came out. So, you know, from a customer's point of view, and I'm not that I'm deceiving my husband, and I'm like that in any way, shape, or form. It's probably a good example of why people might use it, or people might just want to spread the costs. So they might think, right, okay, I don't get paid till this date, but I've got enough money in the bank to pay for the next 2 installments. But I know that once I get paid, then I can pay the other installments. So that's quite a nice little feature to look at as well.
On the subject of lay-by, sorry, Melanie, we've got a question from Alison. What is the charge from lay-by to us, or is the charge made to the customer?
The charge is made to the customer, Alison. I don't know. Do you know off the top of my head? I can't remember, but do you know what? Lay-by was introduced into the UK a couple of years ago. I think I spoke to the guy who actually owns Lay-by. He came to the UK, and I met him in London when I was down there in a conference, and it was doing so well in America and in Australasia as well. And when they moved it over here, they were really excited about it. So my point is, if you Google it, I'll have all the prices on there, but there's no additional charges through Rocketspark. The charges will be to the customer. I'm 95% sure that the charges are to the customer and not to the merchant. So just check that out. You could prove us wrong, but I'm sure it's that. But very quickly, you know, as far as Rocketspark's concerned in pricing, the only thing that you have to pay for with Rocketspark is the hosting. So depending on how many products you want to sell on your website, depends on how much your monthly hosting is. Again, have a look on the rocketspark.co.uk website. It'll give you a list of the pricing plans and what you get for that. But the thing I love about the Rocketspark hosting is you've got unlimited bandwidth, no matter what pricing plan you're on. And I've had people that's come to me from other, say, other hosting providers, and they've said, oh, you know, my website's glitchy and this, that, and the other. And it's perhaps that, yeah, their hosting might be cheaper, but the bandwidth mightn't be there. So perhaps that could be it. But anyway, it works out. It's £16 plus VAT for 10 products, and that's a month. That's what you pay to Rocketspark. £24 plus VAT for 100 products, for 400 products, or £49 plus VAT hosting for unlimited products. I would actually say that's like a monthly pricing plan, but if you wanted to actually pay for that over the year, it's slightly cheaper. So it would be instead of £16 a month, it would be £160 a year. It works out, I think, around about £30 cheaper if you pay annually. And yeah, that's it. I feel as if it was a bit of a whistle stop tour at the end. But please, do you know what? My name's Melanie Cant. My email address is just at the bottom of the page. If you have any questions or queries, because I do realise, you know, I've rammed a lot in this short period of time. But you know, I'm open for you know, putting in a call afterwards with anyone who's got any specific obviously questions to their business. So I'll hand that over to you, Pascal.
Thank you so much. You know, and I know that I'm speaking on behalf of our attendees today, because doing live demos is harder. I wasn't as brave as you. You know, when I did my webinar on Thursday, I went for screenshots. You know.
Well, you know, I like to be on edge. I did this last time, and
you were suddenly. So we've got one more question. Well, actually, there was two questions from Elise, but you answered actually the one about SEO, but she's got a follow-up. But she's asking whether you could explain about product tags. So we'll do that one first, and then I'll move on to the SEO query.
Yeah, okay. So product tags is if you want to group products together. I guess it's quite similar to in the back of the, sorry, I'm closing my eyes because I'm envisaging it. It's quite similar in... there's a section at the back of the website where you could actually type in frequently bought with, but actually, Elise, it's probably best I'll send you, if you can send us your details, I'll send you all the information on that, because there's quite a few things to consider about your product tags. But it's basically how you can group products together for when you want to sell them. That's it in a nutshell. But I will send you some information on that if that's all right.
And then, so she's thanking you for the answer to the question about SEO, which predicted. She's asking whether there are any specific tools or resources that are not too costly to help with this. So just to kind of quickly mention to you, at least I'll be covering SEO in detail next week, but we're not going to make you wait till next Wednesday. So you must have some resource in mind. I've got some, so we can just roll on that.
So what do you mean by resources? Is this for like the social media or?
SEO specifically, Elise is asking. So do you know of any, what are your go-to keyword research tool, I suspect, and other ways in which people can learn about SEO?
Well, actually, Moira will back me up on this. Within Rocketspark, there's a new feature that I've only got access to at the moment, but it is going to be rolled out at the end of this month, and it's called Flint. And what it does, it actually asks you what your keywords are, and it tells you how many keywords you need on each page to optimize your pages. So that is going to be free within the website, and that's going to be definitely my go-to tool. It's definitely going to be a huge advantage, and it's quite unique as far as I'm aware. I'm not sure that many people, there's such a product like it. Now, there probably is other, do you know what, Pascal, I can't think off the top of my head. Do you use other SEO?
So my specialism and bias is always towards blogging. So I would say that when you want to optimize, I'm going to call them product or sales pages, you should always turn to the platforms on devices, as you mentioned a moment ago. I think that's wonderful. When it comes to blogging, you need a much richer range of articles, videos, and podcasts, and so on. There's two that I turn to, which is, first one is answerthepublic.com. So answerthepublic.com will give you a bit of a mind map about the kind of questions people have asked on a particular topic or subject. And that can be a great source of inspiration for blogging. And then the other one is keywordtool.io. It does a similar job. It gives you the question people ask. But when it comes to the products, I think you're back to this idea of, what is the current behavior? So whatever is on the platform. And then, as you mentioned, the Google instance. So whenever you start to type in on beeswax candles, the other words that people may be using would appear on the search box, and that can give you a steer in the right direction. And then literally, I would say follow whatever the advice is given to you by Rocketspark or the other SEO plugins, because this is born out of experience.
Yeah, and as well, I think it's fair to say that SEO is a bit of a beast, isn't it, Pascal? And the fact that Google changes its algorithms all the time, and you've constantly got to be sort of on your game. And I personally agree with you. Blogging is such a really good way to sort of enhance or enrich your SEO efforts on your website. But equally, you know, social media. A lot of people say in my industry, which is like a business to business industry, would automatically say, you know what, you need to be on LinkedIn because it's a business to business platform. But actually, from my experience, I get most of my work from Facebook. I don't know about you, Pascal, but you know, my advice is test the water and go where your customers are. So you'll find me on LinkedIn, and I do post stuff on there just to keep me hand in. And obviously, just remember, it is a search engine in itself. So if I've got a blog, I like to put it on there, but I'll search it, or I'll save it, share it on Facebook as well. But I know where my client base is, and I know that through experience, and I've worked hard at it, and I know my clients are on Facebook. But if you're a business consumer company, I would definitely say Facebook. And if you're selling stuff like food or experience like camper vans or holiday, then Instagram is a very good place to advertise.
No, and you know that's the core message from the Digital Drive Candy Durham program. You know, we would rather people have one or two social media accounts, but run them really well, almost better than the competition. And if I was to use an analogy, it's a bit like if, as a retailer, trader, maker, you are invited to many trade fairs where you can't go to all of them. And I think the virtual world sometimes gives the impression that you can, but actually you can't, because time will still be against you. And you're much, much better off running an amazing Facebook page and a Facebook group than having 5, 6, 7 different accounts across the board. Because, in terms of, from a sales performance point of view, the numbers don't lie, and they never lied for the last few years. And I'm the one, you know, I'm sure you're the same, where I would ask my customers to reduce the number of social media accounts, which feels very, very risky, because it gives, you know, the logic is the more accounts I have, the more my funnel is going to perform. But actually, the opposite is quite true.
Yeah.
So we've got some thank yous already. We've got Maura saying it's fab, really helpful. Only just set up last month, and I'm seeing more traffic to my website. So
fantastic. Was that on Flint, Moira, or the blogging, or both?
Yes. Super. Well, listen, we have, yes, Flint is the answer from Moira. Can I really thank you ever so much, Melanie, for taking the time to help us close this week in such a great way. Again, for me, it's been kind of two things: rediscovering the many facets and elements of an e-commerce website, making me think about that prep is important. So, you know, I was thinking out loud about if someone wants to explore Rocketspark or any other platforms, when you do the first product, you discover in a way what is required of you. And there's almost, I'm wondering, you know, logically then step back and start to gather the information that you now know you need, so that you can start to upload that information and be super efficient. But as I mentioned as well earlier in the week, don't then let it be, you know, keep running this website of yours as if you were running a physical store. Elise is asking whether she can send you some her contact details so she can talk to you more about product tags.
Yeah, that's fine.
Why don't you type actually in the box, Melanie, your email address, and people will have it. We've got a thank you from Alison. Great job building the e-commerce section of my site tomorrow, and now feel super confident about doing it. So there you go.
Well, thank you very much. I'll just type. There you go.
Super. Thanks very much. So big thank you, Melanie. A big thank you to all of you. I think it makes all the difference to have an audience and have people contributing and asking questions. Thank you to our sponsors and host, Digital Drive Candy Durham, supported by Durham Bid and Business Durham. Go out there and, you know, do the best marketing that you can. Be yourselves, be authentic, and, you know, things will come your way. Bye bye for now, and we'll see you very, very soon.